Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Conway as Norman Harrington.
Rodney Harrington has come to the police station to make a voluntary statement about the death of Joe Chernak. Theodore Dowell, longtime Harrington family attorney, has tried to convince Rodney not to make the statement. But Rodney's determined, so now they wait. They wait for a man who will have great impact on Rodney Harrington's life. John Fowler.
Ted?
John?
Frankly, I don't quite understand why we were asked to wait.
Well, I was not terribly busy when Sergeant Goddard called. I thought I could come down and help make things a little easier for you, Rodney.
Thank you, Mr. Fowler.
How's your brother?
He's fine.
Miss Wyatt, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Of course, you realize that it's not necessary for you to make a statement.
I've been trying to talk him out of it.
That's good advice, Rodney. The law does not require that you make a statement. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you also understand that you are entitled to legal counsel before you make a statement.
Yes, sir.
And you understand that the information you give us, even though it's given voluntarily, may possibly be used against you.
I understand all of it, Mr. Fowler.
All right, Miss Wyatt. Record the fact that Mr. Harrington has been advised of his right not to speak, of his right to have legal counsel before he speaks, and that what he says may be used against him, all of which he understands. Add this voluntary statement of Rodney Harrington regarding the death of Joe Chernak. All right, Rodney, whenever you're ready.
Well, tonight I went up on the wharf to see Joe Chernak, to tell him to stay away from my brother. He got angry at me. He came at me. We started a fight. I didn't want to, but I couldn't stop it. He got one of those gaffing hooks, swung it at me. I got it away from him. I threw it off the pier. I guess he thought I was throwing it at him. Because he tried to duck, he lost his balance, and he fell off the pier. He must have hit his head or something. He got back up on the pier, and he started after me again. But he dropped. I ran over to him to help him. He was unconscious. So I ran over to a telephone booth, and I called the hospital for an ambulance. When I got back,
Take your time, Rodney.
And when I got back?
Yeah, when I got back, he was dead. I was just gone a little while to call an ambulance, and he died. I went back to my apartment to try and think about what happened, to try and understand it. And finally, when I was able to understand it, to talk about it, I was about to come here when Sergeant Goddard was at my front door. And that's all. And I'm just very sorry.
Could Rod explain more fully why it took him such a long time to decide to contact the police? Oh, that is, if you have no objections, Ted.
I do object. I think his statement is complete enough. Furthermore, I'm surprised
I have
you...
nothing to hide. I was afraid. I was afraid of what might happen to me. I panicked. I didn't want to, but I panicked.
Not necessary for you to chastise yourself, Rodney. What you did under the circumstances was quite normal.
It'll just take a few minutes to get this typed up. Miss Wyatt?
Sweet home. You didn't come to give me speeches on my drinking.
No.
Stella told me you came by today to see how I was. That was nice.
Well, I try to follow up on my patients. Mr. Chernick.
Then tonight you came by to keep a lonely man company, right?
No, Mr. Chernick.
Try some of my terrible coffee.
No, thank you, sir. Mr. Chernick, I think we should talk.
Gus. Sit down, Dr. Rossi. You can call me Mr. Chernick when you treat me for my liver trouble. Look at my toys.
Well, you did these?
Yeah. Takes a steady hand to carve wood. I guess you didn't think Gus Chernick had a steady hand. See these? Children's faces.
Mr. Chernick,
This is Stella, my firstborn. She was a beautiful child. Smart, always. This one is Joe.
Gus, listen to me. I have some very bad news for you.
Stella?
It's your son, Joe. There's been an accident. Joe is dead.
That stupid kid. I knew he'd come to a rotten end.
Sergeant, how much longer am I going to have to wait to see Mr. Fowler?
Well, as soon as I can get to him, I'll tell him you're here, Mr. Carson.
Thanks.
Would you like a cup of coffee while you're waiting?
No, thank you.
Well, it'll just be a few more minutes.
I respect the feelings that led you to make a statement, Rodney.
Feelings that forced him.
Very well, it's done. You've given them a statement of fact, but I very strongly recommend that you do not sign it.
Why, it's true.
It's not the point.
Why, I think it is.
You're not required to sign it.
Mr. Dowell, you don't seem to understand it is very important that I sign it and try and be finished with this.
I don't think you understand, Rodney. Your statement has gaps in it. Gaps that would be very difficult to defend in court.
I appreciate what you're trying to do.
Why did you run away when you discovered Joe Chernick was dead? What proof do you have that you ever intended to go to the police?
Well, Betty was at the apartment when Sergeant Goddard got there. She knows I was going to the police.
Betty Anderson. Your ex-wife. Anyone else? I said proof, not the concurrence of your ex-wife with whom you are apparently on friendly terms. I see, Rodney. You made the statement. Once you sign it, it could be very significant if the case goes to trial.
Is it going to trial, Mr. Dowell?
At this moment, I don't know.
The fact that Mr. Fowler was here when I made my statement, is that significant too?
No, Rodney. Not really.
Excuse me, please. Can I see Rodney Harrington?
Well, miss,
Alice. What are you doing here?
I've come to see Rodney.
Well, you can see him in the morning.
No, I have to see him tonight, please.
All right. I guess you do.
Mr. Carson?
I'll just be a few minutes, dear.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I'll just be a moment.
I'll read over his statement, but I don't think we have a case.
I want to talk to Stella Chernock.
Tonight?
No, tomorrow will be all right.
Sergeant Goddard?
Thank you, Mr. Dowell.
I only wish I deserved those things.
Well, I made my statement.
Oh, hello, Allison.
Mr. Dowell?
I'll call you when the statement's typed.
Hello?
What are you in for, jaywalking?
My father telephoned.
Is he here?
With Mr. Fowler.
Oh.
Don't be angry at me.
For what?
Coming here.
You didn't have to come.
Yes, I did.
I mean, I'm not under arrest or anything. I just made a statement. I'm waiting to sign it.
I'll wait with you if you want me to.
Well, let's get out of the line of fire. Well, aren't you going to ask me what happened?
No?
You're the only one in town. I've told the story so many times, I feel like a broken record.
You don't have to explain, not to me.
You more than anyone else. It's a long, stupid story.
Norman's battles.
I played Big Brother once too often. I tried to stop a wreck by driving right into it.
They'll understand.
They don't know about Norman. I haven't mentioned him. This is my wreck. I'll repair it best I can.
Tonight isn't as simple as you're trying to make it sound, is it?
It's too simple. That's the rub. I was the only one on the wharf when it happened. They have to take my word.
But it's the truth.
The truth is what the police know for sure. And right now, they only know what I've been able to tell them.
If you had a witness, somebody who saw what happened.
I don't. And if I did, it would end right here. And I could just spend the rest of my life trying to forget it.
Well, we'll work it out somehow.
Rodney?
You know, I'm sorry you had to come. But I'm awfully glad you did.